Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Franchisee Weekly Wednesday call. Today is Wednesday, August the 26th. Really appreciate everybody joining us. Very happy and honored to have Troy Wayman, owner of Citywide of Wichita, on the line with us. Troy signed, Troy and his son Mitchell signed with us in July of 2016 and opened a few months after that, so coming up on the fourth year anniversary. So Troy, welcome to the call. Really appreciate your time.
You bet. Hello, everybody.
So Troy, before we get into the question and answer side of this, can you give everybody on the call a little overview of your background prior to coming to Citywide?
Sure. I'm pretty much a lifetime entrepreneur. Done convenience stores, oil distributor, marketer with Phillips 66, Conoco, Total, all the brands in the Midwest, and also ran a car wash company where we built and sold car wash equipment over a 4-state region, and just took a break for a while, and entrepreneurial spirit came back, and I went to look for something that would excite me, and looked for a long time, about a year before I ran across Citywide and did my vetting such as you guys are doing right now, and found what I wanted to hear. And so pretty much the rest is history. Signed in July, opened in October, and been going since.
Great, and I'm sure you probably looked at some other things as well. What was some of the deciding factors, and again, just now coming up on 4 years, that you looked at in becoming part of Citywide?
I'm going to have to apologize about the jet traffic right now where I'm at. I'm outside of the Air Force Base, so if you hear a lot of noise, it's probably an F-16 or a KC-135 flying over. So my apologies to begin with.
Oh, good.
I was looking for something that had a recurring business model, that once you got your customers, you take care of them, that there would be a recurring model. And also looked at some other retail very shortly. But I knew I wanted something with a recurring business model with professional outlook, and everything I'd done prior, I'd pretty much invented the wheel for myself: accounting software, business development, hiring processes, and for lack of a better word, flying by the seat of your pants outside of the general knowledge you learn of being in business. And what I really liked was the camaraderie I saw throughout the Citywide network. I never found that in the oil business. Everybody was a vicious competitor. We were all looking at the same customers. And with Citywide, you don't do that. You can find help any time of the day or night, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. People pick up the phone and they will give you the answers or direct you to where you can find the answers for what you might need. So when I found the recurring business model, and I'm somewhat a blue collar person, that it really hit home with me as far as how they did it. I didn't have to invent the accounting system. I didn't have to invent the process, their business model. As long as you follow it and are diligent and keep your chin up, the first year's a grind, you'll be successful with this.
And talk a little bit about the dynamic of having your son in the business as well, if you could.
That is a dynamic for sure. Being an entrepreneur for my son's life growing up, I have 3 boys, and I told all of them that they couldn't go into business with me as a partner or anything of that nature until they went out and either got a degree that was specific or a trade that was specific, and found out what it's like to work for the other guy and have respect for them, take care of their equipment, take care of their business, and do that type of thing. And my oldest son was was a master electrician. He had a great job at a refinery. He ran 10 electricians, but was bored to death. And he found out what I was doing or thinking of doing. He said, "Dad, I'd really like to do that with you." I said, "Okay, you're going to put your money where your mouth is." So he did. He sold his house and moved in with me. And that was the beginning of our partnership. He only lived with me for about 4 months because he decided that at 31 that probably wasn't the best place for him. So anyway, that's kind of the way that went. But it is very important that, and we decided right off that he was going to be the operations portion of our fledgling company. I would be the sales administration part of the company. And that is very, very critical, separating roles and making sure you know what your role is in your company.
Great. Thank you. And I'd also like to welcome Craig Schmidt, who just joined. He's calling from Illinois. Welcome, Craig, to the call. Appreciate you joining in.
Yep, thanks.
So great start, Troy. Introduction, what you've done, why you became part of Citywide, and obviously having your son involved, Mitchell, as well. Mitch is a great kid and a big asset to the company. So I'd like to just open up the questions. I think most of you've been on these calls before, so feel free to jump in. Lee, I know it's your first one, so really want you to jump in as well if you have questions. So whoever has a question, please unmute and ask Troy. He's an open book, and he'll be open and transparent. So Troy, maybe I'll kick it off. Can you talk a little bit about the last 4 months and how you pivoted your business, during the pandemic, and what it's done to your business?
We're in the Midwest. If whoever came in late, I'm from Wichita, Kansas. My biggest concern when we started the company was just the number of rooftops I would have in the commercial portion. I think we're the second smallest market in Citywide, so that was one of my concerns. Well, that is no longer a concern anymore. We have plenty of rooftops and plenty of people. But because of that, and the answer to the question in the last 4 months is we've grown very organically. And what I mean by that is we are very diversified. I mean, we're not heavy in any one industry. We do car dealerships, we do medical, we do office complexes, we do industrial. The word no does not exist in our vocabulary. And the reason no doesn't exist is because of the backgrounds that Mitch and I both have. Is I built convenience stores and I built car washes. So I understand, the workings of buildings, which is a big plus for us because it helped in our NJS sales, non-janitorial service sales. But because we grew organically in our JS sales, when the pandemic hit, we did not get a tremendous amount of accounts that froze. And what I mean by froze, hang on, let me let this plane go over. Sorry about that. Froze just meant they wanted to just put it in park for a while and freeze their account because they had a lot of people working from home or whatever it might be. And I think out of our base, we had maybe 10% freeze their accounts, which I felt very fortunate with that. But then during the pandemic, it created a tremendous influx of EDT, electronic disinfectant treatments, and high-touch cleaning, and made everybody more sensitive to the clean environments. And if you'll just notice as you go around to people's businesses now, the bathrooms are cleaner than you've ever seen in your life. And what people are finding is their in-house staff don't do that job very well. They don't like clean bathrooms. Guess what? I do. So it's opened opportunities for us to, when we do the EDT treatments on clients that are not current customers, it's opened our opportunities to talk to them about janitorial services. That would be our recurring business model. But we've also worked the EDT into a process of being an ongoing service too, with more high touch cleaning. And when I'm talking about high touch cleaning, that's just like doorknobs, railing, desktops. When people, are in bathrooms, what are they touching? Those are high touch areas. And the people are very sensitive to that. And following, what the CDC is saying about it, and educating ourselves, and using the proper products, doing, electrostatic treatment and that type of thing. So really the pandemic has been a blessing of sorts for us, in the way we market and the way we, talk to people, because it has created a tremendous amount of opportunity. Hope that answers the question. It's a little long-winded.
That's perfect. So with that, who has a question or two for Troy?
Hi, Troy. This is. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Neil.
Troy, this is Neil Frost. Thank you very much for participating in this call. Appreciate it. I am calling from Springfield, Missouri. You're probably familiar with it. We're not too far from you guys. So a question that I have, Citywide, the brand is not a known brand. Certainly I didn't know about it until I started looking at this opportunity, especially a well-known brand here in Springfield. So question that I have for you is, was Citywide a known brand before you brought it into Wichita? And if not, who are your main competitors there?
The answer is no, it was not known. Our job was to get our name out there. Our major competitors really are the local people that have been doing it for a number of years. We've got what I would consider 2 to 3 premier providers, and they are good. We have taken some of their business, but that came later. You look at a Jani-King or a Serve Pro, they're just going to go out and get the low-lying fruit. They're going to go out and get the $300 a month, $500 a month count, tie people up with a contract for 2 years, and then sue them if they try to get out early because the service is so bad they can't stand it. I hear that story every day. It's really sad that they do that type of thing, but they're really our best salesperson. Now I'm gonna have to wait for people to get off their contract, or I've helped people get out of it in different ways and manners. You got to do it the right way. But to build your brand, the brand is getting more and more known all the time. But what I did is, out of the chute, we started, and the day we got back, they had a big Chamber of Commerce deal for businesses, and we got a booth, and we got out there and walked the aisles and gave cards out. And I also joined Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So if you have that available in your market, you need to get involved in that. I couldn't believe there wasn't one cleaning company that belonged to the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I was totally blown away by that. It was just absolutely crazy.
They have a lot of chicken processing plants around up over in that area, don't they? Also, for a lot of that labor.
In our turf.
Yeah.
You mean Wichita? No, we don't have anything.
Yeah,
like
no.
That. No.
Okay. I just wondered if you have a big Hispanic community.
We have a pretty good sized one. We do, but nothing like probably, Rogers and Springfield and down in that area where you got your big turkey farms, big chicken farms, and Tyson and all that going on. But we do have beef. We have beef processing plants, huge beef processing plants. So, and that's a totally different animal. We're in the process of training some people to actually go into that, because cleaning an operating room in a hospital is easier than cleaning a processing plant. And the FDA is much harder to deal with than AORN or JACO, which are the oversight committees, basically, that oversee hospitals and HAIs, it's hospital-acquired infections and things of that nature. So that's kind of a different ballgame. But I went everywhere. But here's the brand that I would show up and they would see a sticker on my Troy Wayman, citywide of Wichita. Oh, you work for the city. I mean, the city of Wichita. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Yeah.
So I got to tell a story. It was great.
Yeah.
I think it's negative. It's a great thing. At least they know they read it, right? Tell me, what is citywide? What do you do? I said, how long you got? So, and really in those things, just go make one or two contacts and those type of things. You don't have to see everybody, and I just kept going, and they would have chamber luncheons, and training stuff. And I just became like a chess piece. I was always on the board. I was always there, and then you slowly, people get to know you. And then I joined the Rotary. So I joined the Rotary, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce for Wichita. I didn't join any of the smaller cities or the outlying areas. I just joined the bigger groups. So I don't have that much
So here's
time.
a second part of my question, if you'll let me. What since you've been doing it in addition to your sales calls that you're making, are you doing any other additional marketing? Are you buying print advertising? Are you doing social media, anything like that? Or
social
is it
media,
just pretty much focused on word of mouth?
Word of mouth is
Go ahead.
best, as we all know that.
Right.
But we do a tremendous, just in the last year, we've really hit it hard with the influence campaign. We send out one janitorial service email campaign and one non-janitorial service email campaign to prospects. And then we also send out a non-janitorial service email to our clients, telling them about the services and stuff. And I get phone calls. I didn't know you did that. Well, we talked to you about it, but that's okay. Yeah, we do that. We can fill that niche for you, because they don't know. You can stripe a parking lot? Well, yeah, I can stripe a parking lot. You do windows, third story windows? Yeah, we do that. So it just creates talk. And we do LinkedIn also. We send out probably one LinkedIn out, probably every 10 days at least. And then we all do our own calls as far as that type of thing. But the biggest thing you can do, which is really difficult, is make sure everything you do, you put in your CRM, customer relationship management software, because you don't know when that person's just going to say, you know what, it's just not cut out for me. But I will also say the tools that Citywide provides you, like the PI, which is predictive index, it is correct as far as they will help you match people that fit the job. You can, and if you've ever interviewed somebody in your lifetime, and I'm assuming you probably have, they can tell you whatever they want. They can put on a show. They can put on that face to be that person you think they are for an hour. About anybody does. But we follow the hiring processes, ask the right questions. They've got to be a certain person to be an FSM, a certain type of person to be a night manager, certain type of person to be a sales executive, and fit them in those roles. And it is true. If they don't fit that role, they will leave. And they might leave anyway, but you've got to monitor that they're putting all the activities that they're doing, emails, conversations, phone calls, into CRM, because you don't know when they will leave or if they will leave. We have not had a tremendous amount of turnover, but we have had some, so that CRM is for you to stay on top of that on a weekly basis, at least, the activity levels.
Great. Thank you, Troy.
You bet. This is Lee, right?
Neil.
Neil from Springfield. Yeah, I love Springfield.
Yes,
I put a lot of car washes in Springfield.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, for Get and Goes, and also when Get and Go is a brand up there. And then also Eagle Car Washes. So,
okay.
Yep.
Well, Mr. Car Wash is the big one in town now, I guess.
Yeah, they own like 6 sites, I think. So yeah, they're big.
Mhm.
So
Good.
Great,
Good
thank you.
questions, Neil. Who else has a question for Troy?
Hi, this is Craig Schmidt from Illinois. Um, and hopefully I didn't miss this. What, like, I'm saying, how do I ask this? What are most of your clients? Like, who are they? Like, are you office buildings? Now you mentioned the meat packing plant. Like, where are most of your clients? Like, what kind of businesses? Or are they office buildings, apartment complexes type stuff, or?
you know, as I said earlier, we grew organically. We have a very balanced portfolio. Uh,
Mhm.
we have our fair share of office buildings. We have our fair share of doctors' offices. We have our fair share of car dealerships. We have our fair share of manufacturing facilities, uh, dialysis clinics. We do a couple hospitals. So it's very balanced, and that is a great thing. You know, who do you go after first? Anybody that'll let you talk to them. It don't make a difference. Just go talk to them, figure out how this thing works and what works best for you, and just keep talking and talking to people. And they're not going to buy the first time you walk in the door. If they do, you better pinch yourself because it's about the only time it'll ever happen. So it's so to answer your question, there's really none. If I start off, just pick an industry, whether it be doctors' offices or office complexes. We do some apartment complexes. We do common areas for them like hallways and their clubhouses and their bathrooms and things of that nature. And we also do some make readies, which when people move out of apartments, we get those ready for them again. So we do, and that's a non-janitorial service. That's not a janitorial service. So
Right.
hopefully I answered. Did that answer your question, Craig?
Yeah, you did. That is okay. Because I was mostly thinking along the lines of office buildings, and I'm like, gosh, with COVID and the way things are changing, that may not be the best route. But so you definitely answered my question. Thank you.
You bet.
Troy, can you discuss for everybody the process of getting your independent contractors and how you put that relationship together, knowing that they already have accounts, and how you work it out from saying, hey, here's what I'm paying, and the benefits of them doing that through you?
The one thing that we've got to realize, all of us, ever citywide, anybody that's in this, is that we're a sales and management group. Okay, that works in the facility maintenance industry. Okay, we're a sales and management group. Majority of people that clean buildings, they're not good at invoicing people. They're not good at selling them. They work all night. They can't get up in the morning and answer questions of, why didn't you dump the trash in the president's office? How come the toilet paper's out in the hallway B? That type of thing. And we provide that and those answers with the FSMs, with the night managers, and facilitate that type of thing. So the way we talk to ICs is we want you to get as much business you can outside of our doors, but we're going to go out and gain clientele. We're going to show you a building, walk you through it, tell you what we're going to pay you, and you can make a decision if you want to work with us or not. But they have to be an LLC, and they have to have the insurance in the proper places. So those are the two big things. And then we talk to them, and they never know what we're charging our clients because, it's none of their business. And then we just explain the process of how we work, expectation levels, and what we can do to help grow their business. And it is a blast to help people grow their companies and watch them grow. That's one of the most rewarding things I've seen. Is it difficult? Oh, heck yeah. There's nothing easy about this, guys. It's a grind. First year is a grind. So put your boots on and get with it. But is it rewarding? Absolutely. Answer the question, yes or no.
Yep, absolutely. What other questions do you have for Troy? Anybody? Troy, can you talk about the growth? We always focus on, as we go through this process, that it is a grind the first year or two. Can you talk a little bit about the growth you've had over the last 4 years? And you're in Wichita, and a lot of these callers are in markets that are more, they're larger. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we started in pretty much October 1, 2016. I finished 2016 with a grand total of $6,716 in sales. I was killing it. I was absolutely killing it. That's the grind. You're thinking you're talking to tons of people, going to tons of events, trying to get your name out there, talking to people, looking for the opportunities. 'Cause they're going to say, well, whose building do you clean now? You're going to be my first, but you're going to be the best one we do. Just getting that first one is a big deal. And we have our annual convention in February most of the times. And our first convention, my wife was taking me to the airport because we weren't going to spend the money to send both Mitch and I to the convention or conference. So I went, and on the ride to the airport, I looked at my wife. I said, "What have I done? Have I done the wrong thing?" And I get to the convention. I talked to, or conference. I talked to about everybody, and I said, "Just stick with it. Stick with it." So the good part of the story, I ended 2017 at $667,650 in gross sales, the end of year one. End of year two, I was at $1,573,000. I missed growing by $1 million by $60,000 or something like that. Those numbers may not be exact, but they'll be pretty close. Year three, we grew by $1 million. We were at $2,580,000. Year four, by the end of this year, we will grow probably $2 million. We will be close to $4.5 million company at the end of 4 years. My goal when I went into this was to grow $1 million a year. And I wasn't sure it's possible in our market, but it's definitely possible. I'm doing it right now. So it's a lot of fun. It's very, very hard the first year, but it does work. Follow the business model. So that's, and the one thing going back to contractors is what these people, the contractors you have, is on the 10th of every month, I pay them. They walk in the office, they get a check for the work they did. They don't have to worry about invoicing it, collecting it, doing anything other than sending me an invoice of the buildings they cleaned. And then I pay them on the 10th of the month, where a lot of times these folks don't understand invoicing. You ought to see the invoices I get to this day. They're horrible. They're not professional at all. So our clients get professional invoices, and then we get invoices from our ICs, and we pay them on the 10th of the month, whether I collect or not. That's my job to collect that money, not theirs. I told them I'd pay them on the 10th. I pay them on the 10th. So, but that's our growth. My goal now is I want to grow $2 million, and we're pushing hard to get there. So it's real. That's my story.
Who has a question for Troy?
Troy, this is Lee.
Go ahead, Lee.
I just wanted to clarify. It really sounds like the sales piece is a ground game. It's hand-to-hand battle, especially your first year. Do you do any, like Google advertising, or it just joining organizations, getting out there, getting your name out there? But do you do anything like on the Google or anything other than a ground game?
Troy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I had it on mute. We currently don't do anything on Google as far as advertising. We just monitor comments if they're out there. We do Facebook. We do LinkedIn. And we have an influence campaign. So social media is a big part of what we do, and the ground game is the other part. So that's pretty much how we've grown it to this point.
Thank you.
We have done radio advertising, which has been a huge success for us in getting ICs on Hispanic radio channels. Big deal. So, and also we had someone that was bilingual that could help us when we had somebody call in that was strictly Spanish.
It seems like you've got to get a lot of balls up in the air constantly on the IT side, on the side. So it seems like it's
didn't catch all that.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, that's part of being in business. That's the fun part. That's what I like about it. You're especially at first. I mean, we had 3 people in the office to begin with, and this is critical, guys and gals. This is the critical part. You've got to have somebody that is focusing entirely on ops and is willing to go out and clean a building if they have to. And you have to be willing to go clean a building if you have to. And then someone on the sales and admin side that knows how to do the books and take care of that. Now, the nice thing is Citywide will do the books for you the first 6 months, so you don't have to really worry about that a whole lot other than helping get the information right and get it input. So those are the critical parts. The other person we hired was a sales executive. And I wasn't going to do that. And I was convinced on my trip when it was called like a Discovery Day that I was told I wasn't following the model already. So I hired a sales exec, and that was the best thing I did too. So because if you're handling admin and all the sales and one ops guy, you're going out with one crutch already. Get rid of the crutches, get a sales exec, do the admin and sales and ops or whatever it might be for you. Maybe you're the salesperson, you need to hire somebody for admin inside. That's a personal decision, but you need 2 separate people doing ops and then sales and admin, and then a sales executive.
Troy, at
answer your question?
points.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yep. Before I ask, anybody else have a question for Troy? So Troy, at about 4.7 million, approximately how many accounts are you servicing right now?
We clean 140 buildings a night at an average of about $1,900 a building.
So you're just tipping the iceberg. You're just scratching the surface, I guess, if you will, of the total potential opportunity in the Wichita market.
Absolutely. 7% market share. And I'm probably at 1%.
Mm-hmm. That's phenomenal. What other questions do you have for Troy? Go ahead. Troy, can you talk about some of the, I mean, obviously there's a great deal of support that you get from the home office, but talk a little bit about the relationships and the support that you get from your fellow owners.
the people involved with Citywide, and what I looked for when I visited the office is I was looking for culture, because culture is a big thing to me. If you don't have the correct culture, you will not be successful. And I have yet to meet an owner or a principal of a Citywide that does not enjoy the culture that we've all created together. Not only in each office in and of itself, but beyond that. I mean, I've picked up the phone and called people in New York, Boston, South Florida, Indianapolis, LA, Dallas, Chicago, because everybody has one niche that they do well in, possibly, or you've seen, some, when somebody sells something in Citywide, everybody gets an email. It's like hip hip hooray. And I see some deals going across, and I'll email and say, how long did it take you to get that deal, and how did you get it? What got you there? And whether it's a sales executive or whether it's the owner or whatever who wrote that business, they'll pick up the phone or email you and talk to you about it. It's something that I have never been involved in. And I've been in two large industries, the car wash industry and also the oil industry, that didn't happen. That was non-existent, because everybody looked at you as an enemy, and they're not about to share trade secrets with you, but it is an open book as far as how to get things done, who to talk to. If you don't know how to do a particular type of floor or carpet, or what piece of equipment do you buy, or should I buy equipment, all that, everything that comes across your mind. If you try to figure it out yourself, you go absolutely bonkers. I mean, sometimes I tell Mitch to pick up the phone and call Alan. He's done this. He's doing a big industrial facility or truck stop or whatever it is. Call and ask him. And we do. And they give us great feedback. So it's just something that I've never been involved in. And that is the beauty of the Citywide franchise organization. I mean, we're a small, huge piece of this industry. I mean, the revenues we produce among 60 franchisees is absolutely incredible. It's just unbelievable. So it's been one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever been in.
Great, thank you. Morgan, Farouk, anybody have another question for Troy? Well, Troy, I really appreciate your time today, and everybody on the call, especially most of you people that have been on multiple calls. I know it takes time out of your day as well. So I want to thank everybody for participating today. Great conversation. Troy, really thank you. I know you're out in the field right now, so appreciate it. Everybody on the call, I'll follow up with you in the next day or so. So appreciate everybody's time. And Troy, great job, and thank you again.
Hey, everybody, if you need to talk or something sometime off the line, feel free to pick up the phone. I will answer if I'm not busy. And if not, leave a message and I will call you back. So there's not a bad question. And there are bad days, guys. It's not all roses. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's a tough business, but there's a lot of rewards in a tough business. Because if it's easy, everybody would be doing it.